Hi and welcome back to week 2 of Care Pilates Summer School. I'm Heather and thank you so much for joining last week if you watched week 1. If not, you can go back and have a wee look at it and see just the different wee exercises that we were doing last week. Again, as I promised, I have recorded these as I'm not teaching over the summer, so we are now on to week 2. Hope you're having a lovely summer. And yeah, as always, take care of yourself, listen to how your body is, listen to how you feel whenever you're moving, and just move within the range that feels appropriate to yourself. Okay, so let's begin. Let's come into a nice standing alignment, having our feet hip width apart. Feel that weight evenly distributed over the feet. Lengthen up through our legs, but our knees aren't locked. Pelvis in neutral. Lengthen through the spine, rising up, coming up through the crown of our head, and relax our shoulders down by our side. Let's just have a wee think about coming into your neutral pelvis. So again, you can place one hand front and back and just tilt the pelvis forward, tilting the pelvis back. And we'll just do a few wee tilts of the pelvis going forward and coming back. And then we're going to stop halfway in the centre, and that's in our nice neutral pelvis. So keeping that stability and neutral pelvis, we're going to keep the length coming up through the spine, have our arms down by our side, and just start by floating that left arm coming up. Relax that shoulder blade down your back, and bring the arm coming down, and swapping again. And as you're floating the arm up, think about just moving in at the shoulder joint, and being relaxed across the top of the shoulder, around the neck. And let's come into a double float arms. So as you reach both arms coming out, think about lengthening those arms away from each other as you're floating up again. Relax your shoulder blades down your back and coming back down. And again, it's just getting this lovely movement coming in to the shoulders as we're floating those arms coming up and coming down. Let's just do one more, floating both arms coming up and bringing them down. Perfect. Let's bring our legs slightly wider in hip width. Pelvis is in neutral, we're going to come into a nice side flexion. So floating that left arm coming up, relax the shoulder blade down your back. Then you're going to start to side flex, coming up and over, so the spine starts to move now. We're going to inhale here, and as you exhale, use your waist, draw yourself coming back up, all the way up, bringing the arm coming down. And let's repeat the other side. So floating the right arm coming up, relax your shoulder blade down your back. Then we're going to start to side flex as we're coming up and over. We're going to inhale here, and as you exhale, use your waist, draw yourself coming back up, all the way up, coming back down. Well done. And again, think about getting that lovely movement coming through in the spine. Keep equal weight through your feet, and use that breath as you're drawing yourself coming back up, all the way up. And again, floating the arm coming up. Then start that side flexion up and over. We're going to inhale here, lengthen down the side of the body. And then as you exhale, use your waist, draw yourself coming back up, all the way down. Last one, floating the arm coming up. Start that side flexion. The arm just travels as you start the side flexion through the spine. Inhale in here. And as you exhale, use your waist, draw yourself coming back up, all the way down. And the last one, floating the arm coming up. Then start that lovely side flexion as we're coming up and over. We're going to inhale here. And then as you exhale, use your waist, draw yourself coming back up, all the way, coming back down. Well done. Come standing on our mat, and we're just going to come down into a wee roll down. So again, keeping that nice little length coming up through the spine, we're going to inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, tuck up the chin, rolling down through the spine, bringing your weight forward as you're coming down towards the floor. Going to inhale when you've gone as far as you can. And as you exhale, ground through your feet, lengthen through your legs, pelvis back to neutral, spine back up, restacked, head back up on top. And again, tuck at the chin, rolling down. And really think about getting that movement coming through in at the spine as you're coming over. We're going to inhale here. And then as you exhale, again, ground through the feet, lengthen through your legs, pelvis back to neutral, restack that spine, coming all the way, coming up. Keep going with your roll downs, and again, remember, if in class you can do more hip hinges, so we're not overloading in the upper back, think about coming into a wee hip hinge, hand front and back, and we'll come down into a wee hip hinge, coming down and coming back up again. But Izzy the cat to join us, coming down and coming back up again. I'm going to come into 2 more roll downs, so again, tuck at the chin, rolling down through the spine, bringing your weight forward as you're coming down towards the floor. Going to inhale here, And as we exhale, grind through that feet, lengthen through those legs, draw up through that centre as you restack the spine all the way up. Our next one, we're going to come down onto the floor. So we get a tuck of the chin, rolling down through the spine, bringing your weight forward as you're coming down. If your hands don't touch the ground, just walk your hands forward, and you're going to come into a nice 4-point kneeling position. So having your hands below your shoulders, having your knees below your hips. We're going to think about keeping that nice length through the spine, keeping your head in line with your spine, keeping your elbow creases pointing towards each other, keep that drawn through the centre. We're going to then come into a nice flexed and extended cat. So we'll inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, tuck the pelvis under as we roll through the spine all the way coming up towards the head. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale from your pelvis, rolling back through into our extended cat. Inhaling here, and then as we exhale, rolling through all the way, come back into a nice flex cat. Inhaling here, and as we exhale, coming back through into our nice extended cat. When you come into your extended cat, still keep a bit of length in at the back of the neck so you're not overextending. We'll do one more, rolling back through into our flex cat. Then, on our next exhale, rolling back through into our extended cat. Bring yourself back into the centre, and we're then going to come into a wee thread and the needle. So with thread and the needle, you want to imagine there's a line down the middle of the mat, and you're keeping your spine very much centred around that line on the mat. So you're going to take our left hand and bring your left hand behind your right hand as you rotate around that imaginary line down the middle of the mat, and your right arm will bend. Then bring yourself coming back up all the way up to the top and swap sides. Take your right hand behind your left hand. You get this lovely rotation coming through. Left arm's bending, but it straightens as you're bringing yourself coming back up again. With the breathing, you can exhale as you're coming down into your rotation. Then inhale as you're coming back up again. And again, you're exhaling as you're rotating, coming around. Inhale to bring yourself back up. We'll do 2 more either side. So again, thinking about getting that movement come from your head down through the back, then de-rotating, coming back into the centre. And again, let's get that lovely movement coming through in at the spine, getting that rotation coming in. We'll do our last one either side. Remember, your supporting arm will bend as you're going from one side to the other. Once you finish your final one, come back and sit back in the rest position, just resting your head down on the floor. And just take a few breaths in and out. You can reach your arms just out in front. Then bring yourself back up into 4-point, and we're going to then roll over and just come and lie down on our back. So again, in class we normally have some wee head cushions behind your head. So if you have a very thin wee cushion, place it behind your head. Otherwise, you can just rest your head down on the floor. Again, we come into the relaxation position. So our feet are flat on the floor, our knees are bent. We're keeping our pelvis level and still. Our arms are just relaxing down by our side. And we'll just take a moment to feel the weight of the body on the floor. We're then going to think about coming into your neutral pelvis. So imagine the pelvis as a compass. North is coming up towards your head, south's going down towards your feet. So let's tilt the pelvis into that north tilt. So you're flattening your lower back on the mat. Come back to the centre. And again, flatten your lower back on the mat and back to the centre. And again, it's just that little tilt of the pelvis at the base of the spine. And the last one, north tilt, coming back through. Then we're going to come into your south tilt. So you're going the opposite way, coming down and back to the centre. And again, coming down into a south tilt, back to the centre. One more south tilt. Then we're going to come back through into your north tilt. Then we're going to stop halfway in our neutral pelvis. So keeping the pelvis lovely and still, we're going to come into our shoulder drop. So float both arms coming up, so your fingertips are pointing up to the ceiling. Relax those shoulder blades down your back. With your left arm, we're going to reach that left arm up to the ceiling and bringing it down. And you swap inside, your right arm goes up to the ceiling and coming down. So you're keeping the arm lovely and still, and you're just reaching it up to the ceiling and coming down. So as you're reaching up, you can inhale and then exhale. So you let the shoulder blade melt down into the floor. So inhale as it comes up, exhale as it's coming down. And as you're bringing the arm down, think about creating width across the front of the chest. So inhale going up, exhale and coming down. Let's do one more either side. As you feel the glide of the shoulder blade moving round that rib cage. Let's bring the arms coming back down by our side. We're then going to come into just our wee knee folds that we were doing last week. So again, remember that lovely big corset of muscles around the centre. Think about drawing that corset in to give the stability to the pelvis as you're floating the left leg up into a single knee fold, flexing at the hip, inhaling at the top, and exhaling as we're going down and swapping sides. Exhale as you float the right leg, come up, inhaling at the top, and then we're going to exhale as we're coming back down. So you're just going from one side to the other, and again it's all about getting this movement coming in at the hip joint. If that's feeling okay, we're then going to come into our double knee fold. So on our next in, we'll inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, float the left leg coming up. Keep drawing in through the centre as you float the second leg coming up. Inhaling at the top, and then you're going to exhale as you take one leg down, then you take the other leg down. And again, on your next exhale, float one leg coming up. Think about drawing in through that centre as you float the second leg coming up. Inhaling at the top, then you're going to float one leg down, and then float the other leg down. We'll just do two more like this. Okay, and floating one leg come up. Keep drawing in through your centre as you float the second leg come up. Inhaling at the top, and then as you exhale, bring one leg down and bring the other leg down. And the last one again, floating that leg come up. Drawing in through that centre as you float the second leg come up. Inhaling at the top, and then as you exhale, float one leg down and float the second leg coming down. We're then going to come into your wee toe taps. So toe tap starts in our double knee fold position. So again, as you exhale, float one leg coming up and float the second leg coming up. You're keeping the pelvis lovely and still. You're keeping the nice movement coming through in the spine. So we're going to inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, take our left toe down, tap it on the ground, inhale to bring it up. And swap sides, take your right leg down, tap it on the ground, bring that back up. So you're exhaling as you're tapping the toe down, inhaling to bring it up. And as you exhale, think about drawing in through that centre to keep that support to the pelvis and the spine. So there should be no pressure coming in at the lower back as you go from one side to the other. And do remember, the further away you take your foot away from the body, the more you have to support in at the pelvis and the spine. Obviously it's a longer lever. We'll just do one more, then draw those legs in towards your chest, just to give the back a nice little lengthen. Then we'll bring one leg down, then we'll bring the other leg down. We're going to come into lengthening up the back of the leg. So let's put the left leg into a single knee fold. Clasp your hands behind the back of that left leg. Let's stretch your right leg out along the floor and keep that right leg anchored down on the floor. And you're just simply going to lengthen this left leg up to the ceiling and coming down. And again, lengthen it up to the ceiling and coming down. And you're keeping the pelvis anchored down on the floor the whole time. That's it. And keeping your right leg lengthened. On our next, bring it up to the ceiling and point and flex your foot. And get this full movement coming in at the ankle joint. Then you're going to do 3 ankle circles one way. And 3 ankle circles the other way. Perfect. Let's bring the leg down and we'll swap sides. So again, float the right leg up into a single knee fold. Clasp your hands behind the back of your right leg. Slide your left leg out along the floor and just keep that leg anchored down on the floor. We're going to reach our right leg up to the ceiling and coming down. And again, reaching that right leg up to the ceiling and coming down. And we're just looking to lengthen up the back of this leg, and we're opening out at the front of this left hip. On your next one, keep the leg pointing up to the ceiling and point and flex that foot. Getting that full movement coming in at the ankle joint. We're then going to do 3 ankle circles one way. And then change direction. 3 ankle circles the other way. And then bring the leg coming back down, back to relaxation position. We're then going to come and roll over and come and lie on our left side. So we're coming into our side line. Now in class, we normally bring our arm out stretched. You can fold your head cushion and place it between your ear and your arm. If you've got a head cushion, you can do that. If you don't, you can just bend your arm and place your head on your hand, and that just gives you the support. Because what we're looking for is just keeping the neck in line with the rest of the spine. We're going to come into oyster. So you're going to have your legs bent at a nice 45-degree angle roughly, and your feet are in line with the rest of your body. Lifting that lower waist off the floor. You've got the pelvis stacked on top of each other, the shoulders stacked on top of each other. Top hand can rest gently on the floor. Feet together, lift that top knee coming up and coming down. And remember, as you're bringing the leg coming up, you're keeping the pelvis lovely and still. So you're not rolling backwards and you're not coming forwards. You're very much just staying centered above the pelvis on top of each other and the shoulders on top of each other. So with the breathing, you can exhale as you're coming up and inhale as you're bringing the leg down. And again, can exhale as you're coming up, keep that drawn through center, inhale as you're coming down. Let's just do one more. Loosen the leg coming up, bringing the leg coming down. We're then going to come into a wee lift and lower. So again, reach that top leg out in line with your hip. Going to flex the foot, and we're just going to lift the leg coming up and coming down. And again, you want to think about this leg being lovely and long down the body. You're keeping that lift of the lower waist. You're not coming forward with the legs. Sometimes the hip flexors can be more dominant and draw the leg coming forward. So really work hard to keep that leg pointing down your mat. Again, you can exhale as you're lifting and inhale as you bring it down. We'll just do two more. Floating the leg coming up, and really think about reaching that foot to the wall in front. I think I slipped in an extra one. We'll come into a front to thigh stretch. So clasping your hand around your ankle, bring your leg back. And again, the key here is that you want to keep this openness at the front of your hip. Have your knee pointing down the mat. Open up at the front of the hip joint. And just again, breathing normally. Then we're going to relax the leg down. And we're simply just going to switch over. And I'm going to go to the other end of the mat, but you can just roll over your mat. And we're just going to do the same on the other side. So again, having our legs bent, our knees are bent, our feet are together. You have the pelvis stacked on top of each other. Again, you can either place your head cushion between your ear and your outstretched arm, or place your hand under your head and just keep your head supported in line with the rest of the spine. Keep that lift of the lower waist, pelvis stacked on top of each other, top hand resting down on the floor. And again, we're just going to lift that top knee coming up and coming down. And again, as you're bringing the leg coming up and down, you're looking to keep the pelvis lovely and still. If you feel the pelvis is moving forward and back quite a lot, think about that lovely corset of muscles around the centre. Think about drawing in a wee bit more through that to keep that stability. We're working the rotators of the hip, so we're just doing internal external rotation coming in here. So all that's moving is the hip. We're just going to do one more and coming down. Well done. Then we're going to come into a lift and lower. So again, really lengthen that leg down to the bottom of your mat. Keep that lift of your lower waist. Keep your pelvis in neutral. And we're just going to lift the leg coming up and coming down. And again, as you lift the leg coming up and down, we're just working the hip joint. We're not side flexing into the spine. The pelvis is staying lovely and still, and we're very much just working through at the hip joint. As you lift the leg coming up and coming down, well done. And again, really think about reaching that leg to the end of your mat. We're just going to exhale and inhale. We'll just do one more. And then again, we'll come into that wee front of thigh stretch. So clasp your hand around your ankle, bring your leg coming back, and just keeping the bottom leg resting down on the floor. You're opening up at the front of this hip. So your knees very much pointing down the mat. Well done. And just relax the leg coming down. We're then going to come into our prone position. So we're going to come and lie down on the floor into our diamond press. So let's rest our head coming down we're going to come into prone and we're going to come into our diamond press. So again, resting your head down on the floor. Keep that nice neutral pelvis, you're keeping that length coming through in the spine. Our legs are parallel and straight. Bring your hands either side of your forehead. And we're just going to relax the shoulder blades down your back. Going to inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, slide your nose along the mat, you start to extend through your neck and your upper back. Keeping your gaze down towards the floor. Inhaling at the top. And then as we exhale, lower yourself, coming back down onto the floor. And again, slide your nose along the mat as you extend, coming up. Going to inhale at the top. And then as we exhale, bring yourself down, back down onto the floor. And again, as you're coming up, it's all about this extension through your neck and your upper back. But you want to keep an even extension coming through. So don't overextend at the neck because it moves more than the upper back. We'll just do one more. Whereas I'm coming up. Inhaling at the top. And as you exhale, coming back down onto the floor. We're then going to bring our legs up to the corners of our mat. Bring our hands so you've got 90 degrees coming into your elbows. And we're just going to come up into our cobra. So again, think about keeping the pelvis in neutral. Forearms resting down and forward. We're going to come into cobra prep to begin with. So we're going to inhale to prepare. As we exhale, slide your arms along the mat. You start to extend. You'll be able to rise a wee bit higher than our diamond press, just from the position of the arms. Inhaling at the top. And then as we exhale, coming back down again. And again, sliding your nose along the mat, you start to extend. Again, we're just keeping our gaze down towards the floor. Inhaling at the top. And exhale as you're coming back down. We're now going to go into full cobra. But see how your back feels. If you prefer to stay doing cobra prep, please do. But if you want to come up into full cobra, slide your nose along the mat, you can start to extend. We can go no further. Gently press through your hands, rise and come up, keeping those shoulder blades relaxed down. Your back and lifting coming up. We're going to inhale here. And then as we exhale, lower yourself, coming back down onto the floor. Well done. We're going to do it 2 more times. Then sliding your nose along the mat, you extend through that neck, upper back. Gently press through your arms and rise and come up. Going to inhale at the top. And then as we exhale, lower ourselves, coming back down onto the floor. And last one. Think about getting that nice length. So think about reaching your head forward and up as you're coming up, so you're getting a lengthened extension coming through. Inhaling at the top. And then we're going to exhale as you lower yourself, coming back down onto the floor. Well done. We're just going to bring ourselves back up onto all fours. I'm going to come sit back and just lengthen through the back after all of that extension. Just taking a few breaths in and out. Feel that length come through the spine. Feel that blade coming in across the ribcage. We're then going to come into a side stretch. So bring yourself back up onto all fours. Bring your left hand in front of your right hand. Sit back on your heels. If that is enough of a stretch down your left side of the body, stay there. But if you want a further stretch, shift your hips over to the left and just take a few breaths in and out. And really open up that side of the body, open up that side of the ribcage. Bring yourself back into the centre, back up onto all fours. And we'll do that again on the other side. So bring your right hand in front of your left hand, sitting back on your heels. And again, if that's enough of a stretch, stop there. If you want a further stretch, shift your hips over to the right and just take a few breaths in and out. And again, it's just about opening up that side of the ribcage. Feel that length coming down that side of the body. Then bring yourself back to the centre, back up onto all fours, and just coming back one last time, back into the rest position. You have your hands out in front, you can have your hands down by your side. Very much your own preference. Just taking a few breaths in and out. Just slowly breathing down. Then, in your own time, bring yourself up to sitting. And we're going to bring ourselves up to standing. So come into a nice standing line. Again, having our feet so we're hip width apart. Pelvis in neutral. Feel that length coming up through the spine. We're going to bring arms in by our side. We're going to take them both out to the side. Again, think about this openness coming across the front of the chest. And coming back in. And again, just taking the arms out to the side and coming in. On our next one, we're going to add in a rotation. So let's take the left hand out to the side. Look over your right shoulder. Get that openness coming across the front of the chest. And bring everything back into the centre. Then go on the opposite way. Take your right hand outside. Looking over your left shoulder. And again, drawing everything in. And one last time either side. So again, you're looking just to lengthen across the front of the chest. And coming back in. Well done. As we're going over to the other side. Coming back in. Well done. We're going to do a wee bit of standing on one leg. So again, transfer your weight across onto your right leg. And just float your left leg coming up into a single knee fold. Keeping the pelvis lovely and still. Keeping that length through the spine. If you need to hold on to something, please do. Have a chair or hold on to the wall. Whatever you need. And we're going to come down. Then we're going to go to the other side. So again, transfer your weight across onto your leg. Lifting the other leg coming up. Keeping the pelvis lovely and still. Keeping that lovely length coming up through the spine. Again, if you need to hold on to your chair, hold on to a wall, please do. And come down. And again, transfer your weight across. Again, standing lovely and tall through that right leg. Float your left leg coming up. And again, keep that length coming up through the spine. Think about we're standing lovely and tall, so if you're floating up to the ceiling. And coming down. And again, bring your weight across. Coming up. On our last one, we're going to add in a re-rotation, which we always do at the end of class. See how you do. So you can keep the practice up over the summer. So transfer your weight across onto that right leg. Float the left leg coming up. Once you get your balance, look over one shoulder. Back to the centre. Look over the other shoulder. Back to the centre. Well done. I had a few wobbles myself. We'll come back over to the other side. So stand lovely and tall through that left leg. Float the right leg coming up. Again, get your balance. Then we're going to look over one shoulder. Back to the centre. Looking over the other shoulder. Back to the centre. Bring the leg down. Well done. I'm going to finish with a corkscrew arms. So let's look both arms coming up. Clasp your hands behind the back of your head. Shrug your shoulders up. Bring your shoulders down. Extend your arms up. Bringing the arms coming down. And again, floating both arms coming up. Clasp your hands behind the back of your head. Shrug your shoulders up. Bring your shoulders down. Extend those arms up. Come down. We're going to do two more. Floating both arms coming up. Clasp your hands behind the back of your head. Shrug your shoulders up. Bring your shoulders down. Extend your arms up. Bringing your arms coming down. And last one. Floating both arms coming up. Clasp your hands behind the back of your head. Shrug your shoulders up. Bring your shoulders down. Extend those arms up. Bring your arms coming down. And we're just going to close our eyes. And just take 3 breaths in and out. And open your eyes. And again, thank you so much for joining me for week 2 of Care Pilates Summer School. Again, I hope you're having a lovely break, and I look forward to seeing you in September, and also I will be posting week 3 very soon. Okay, take care, bye.